was a friend of Leo's mother. At first it was just Joyce and Butch, and then come along Leo, and he became my child. And today there he is, big strapping young man, and I'm so proud of him because he's picked himself up and came a long way.
A long life, longevity. I just want to do God's will. I just want to do God's will. But I don't know what will happen now. A long life, longevity.
You know, no matter where you are in this world, what we gotta do, we gotta live together.
I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen.
Somebody that I just can't express my feelings for. They're so deep. But the deepness goes back to his mother because our friendship was just that bonded. So many things she did I didn't understand. Like when I came from the hospital and happened to stop by on Caldwell Street and found him on a suitcase with just a wet diaper and a mess diaper, eating his own feces. I picked him up and took him to the sink and washed him off and carried him up Fulton Street to my residency and laid him on the bed with my son and my daughter, and he became my child.
This is my job. I've been performing for the last 30 years here on Miami Beach. Life has been good. Playing for people half my age, making them happy. People from all over the world. It's a hard job sometimes, but somebody's got to do it. It's really hard to keep my mind focused after I received a call from Pittsburgh from a friend who just lost a child to the senseless violence, the murder, the carnage, the killing field. I know I must go home to help stop the violence, killings.
Change has come, doo-doo, doo-doo, until my change has come, doo-doo, doo-doo. I want you to help me, Lord.
This is Pittsburgh, the place of my birth, my town, my Israel, a town of genius such as Carnegie, Mellon, and August Wilson. On one hand, we have the great wealth, and on the other, the manufactured poverty. My heart was pulled back here because of the senseless killings of young black men by other young black men. To share my story and to help stop this violence, to stop the carnage. That's my goal.
My house was right there. We came home from school one day and they had a sign of condemnation on the door. And I think they gave us something like maybe 2 weeks to move. And they decimated the whole community.
What year was that?
That was about in 1959.
Feel your presence, Lord. Until my changes come. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah, Lord.
My way may not be easy, but you never said that it would be. When I'm in darkness and I can't find my way, you told me to put my trust in you.
Please, Lord.
For the last couple of years, I've been communicating with this wonderful and great sister, Deborah Germany, through emails and telephone calls, and I'm so privileged to finally get a chance to meet her in person. She started a great ministry here in Pittsburgh called the Divine Intervention Ministries, and it's such a pleasure.
Thank you. Divine Intervention Ministry was birthed through the death of my son Raymond Germany. God had placed it in my spirit to reach back and help other young men like my son who were murdered. And out of a lot of pain came this ministry. But before, a little later, Valerie Dixon had approached me about a concept she had about a billboard campaign. God had gave her a vision to create a billboard, and she approached me with it. And I agreed to let my son be on a billboard, and through us sitting on different task force and things, we formed a ministry. We started with the billboard campaign, but then it developed into a help center to help the hurting families whose children were murdered or homicides remain unsolved. So now we help about 80 families. We started with 5, now we have 80. But my focus right now is prison ministry. I'm helping young men in prison so that they won't end up on the billboard.
You know, I think that's a wonderful thing you're doing, and to turn sadness and sorrow into something really positive. I think a lot of us can learn something from it. And so, where are the billboards placed?
They're placed throughout the city of Pittsburgh, at Allegheny County. We have a strong partnership with Lamar Outdoor Advertising and the Witness Protection Program.
Some of the pictures that you brought with you today, are those the posters? I mean,
Yes.
as far as the billboards?
This is the billboard campaign that we're currently running. The $5,000 reward. This was my son Raymond and another young man, Mr. Milton Colbert. They were both killed in the Hill District. The Witness Protection is the phone number that you can call on our website. And we also have another campaign that's running in the Lowe's theaters in Pittsburgh. When you're waiting on a movie to start, we're asking anyone for information and showing them that the Witness Protection Program works. This is Valerie Dixon's son, Rob, is how the billboard campaign started with the death of her son, Robert Dixon. And this is a picture of my son when we had happier times when he was here. This was a family reunion in '97. Was one of the few times that he was home. And I miss him a lot. Ray was my only child. He didn't have any children. So the death of him is really final for me. It took generations away from me, my grandchildren. But with God as my guide, I'm determined to reach back and help other young men like Ray find the resources that they need so that they don't spend their life in prison or dead. And they're all being tricked by the enemy.
And so was anyone ever arrested for Raymond's murder?
We had a trial, but one young man was acquitted and the main shooter was never arrested. So I'm believing God for a miracle. That's what he specializes in. It'll be 5 years this July, but God promised me that I'll have justice, and I'm just going to wait and trust him.
God bless you, sister. And I'm really admiring your T-shirt. You think you can show us your T-shirt, the front and back?
Yes, I speak to the youth across the state of Pennsylvania, And when I speak, I wear this shirt to show them who Ray was. And the message on the back of the shirt says, "Don't wait for 6 strong men to bring you back to church." Because a lot of our young men are coming back in a coffin, never knowing Jesus. And my prayer is that they will get to know God and do something positive with their life. And it's really helping. Valerie also speaks to youth all day in juvenile court. She has a great impact in the community as well. So I believe if we reach our youth when they're young, they have a chance of making it, instilling the things that are important. Like my son chose to sell drugs in spite of him coming from a good home. So when I speak to the youth, I tell them his story, the good and the bad. I don't sugarcoat it. Yeah, he was a drug dealer, and that's why he's dead today. So I don't act like he was just this perfect young man, because he wasn't. But to let them know that one of the benefits of selling drugs is a bullet in your head. And that's what Ray got. He got shot 7 times, 6 in his body, once in the back of his head, and it came out his eye. And I let them know that. That's the last time I seen him, laying on a table in a body bag.
It is necessary, not only for the African American community, but for everybody in this county, in this city, to pitch in whatever way to try to stop this carnage.
Witnesses, a child, the greats, Count Basie, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, who all performed here at the New Granada Theater. I remember when the new Twist movies would come out and we would jump on the stage and dance to the movies. This place brings back a lot of memories, and a lot of the greatness in the jazz field and R&B field performed right here at the New Granada Theater. Whereas a child, I attended many concerts, and I remember the lines of people that would line up along the curb waiting to go into the New Granada Theater. And how I would, as a young child, I would sit in the front row, second row, and dream that one day that I could play with Miles Davis and John Coltrane. But it seems like almost like a time warp. And standing here now, 40 years later, I can almost close my eyes and hear Miles Davis playing. Or I can close my eyes and hear Count Basie's whole 14-piece orchestra playing here. I just wish that we could bring it back to its level of grandeur and greatness. So much soul, so much art, so much of what we are, not only as a people but as a nation, and the contributions that we've made to the music field, musicians and artists that'll live forever who performed here.